Jets fans, what is going on? Rob with RJF Media here. On this one, I got a special one. We are doing a post Mike Williams, post Tyron Smith mock draft. Now, the Jets, as we all know, as I just mentioned, are making moves, but they are not and should not be done. With the Jets currently in talks and discussions with Jadeveon Clowney right now, they just recently had him in the building, and rumors are that they are on the inside track to land him, with them keeping constant communication with both the Jadeveon Clowney and his representative. Now, like I said, the Jets are not and should not be done. I think them building upon that strong defense they already had, adding weapons and assets like Tyron Smith and Mike Williams can only really benefit the Jets at this point, but there are still moves to be made. And of course, the Jets don't have infinite amount of cap space. So the way to supplement that free agency is through the draft. And this year, the Jets don't have the amount of picks that they usually have. They have no second rounder, but we're going to make it work. So let's jump into it. But before we do, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. It helps immensely. Now let's get into it. With the first pick, with the 10th pick in the first round, I have the New York Jets going Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington, 6'3", 212 pounds. The guy has the height, weight, speed, is built like an absolute you-know-what house. And his stats from this past season really show that in 15 games. Obviously, Washington had the original 12-13 games and went to the college football championship against Michigan. In 15 games, Odunze had 87 receptions for 1,553 yards, 13 touchdowns, and he actually had a QBR rating win targeted of 120.8. Now, a couple of notes from Odunze that scouts are talking about and everything. And by the way, all the numbers, stats, and what the scouts are saying, I got that from Pro Football Reference, and I will link that down below so that you can check it out for yourself. What the scouts had to say is he's a bowling ball of a football player. When you get the ball in his hands, he can not only just make a lot of guys miss, but he is hard to bring down because of that height, weight, and speed. A fun fact: he was a state championship. He was a state champion in track in high school in both the 4x100 and the 200 meter race. Again, he has the height, weight, speed with a ton of untapped potential. Again, hard to bring down, just that size. He can make a lot of guys miss. He can run through guys. You can't really try to arm tackle this guy. I think he's the perfect complement to a Garrett Wilson on the outside. Obviously, you have Mike Williams, who they just signed, but he has experience in the slot as well. So really what you can do is you can just kind of mix and match these guys all over the field, whatever gives you the best matchup. And I think Rome Odunze, unfortunately, my guy Brock Bowers wasn't there in this scenario, but I would love to have Rome Odunze nonetheless. I think he has all pro caliber, Pro Bowl caliber, all that good stuff. Now, again, like I said, we do not have that second round pick. So moving on to the third round, I have the Jets selecting Roger Rosengarten, tackle from, again, Washington. Has that pedigree from this past season at championship caliber, although they didn't win championship. At 6'5", 308 pounds, the guy is strictly a right tackle. But look, Morgan Moses, older player on a one-year deal. I think you have a guy with a lot of high upside who has played very well over the past few years in college in a bigger name, more high-profile college team. I think that can only really benefit you. This helps solve the Jets' extra playmaker they need in getting Odunze, and also bringing in a tackle to groom and to start and to take over next year. In 15 games this year, he's played 847 snaps, allowed 8 hurries, 2 QB hits, and no sacks, which, if you look through his career, he's very rarely given up sacks. Some of the things the scouts have to say about Roger Rosengarten is he is strictly a right tackle. He's only played right tackle throughout his collegiate career, but he plays with a nasty attitude. He has a quick step when getting off in pass blocking snaps. He's a big mauler in the run game, very physical, very hard-nosed player, which is what the Jets are really trying to do this offseason, right? You bring in Morgan Moses, you bring in John Simpson, you bring in Tyron Smith, all guys that have nasty attitudes, big maulers, big, tough, hard to get around, very smart, very versatile in both the run and pass blocking game. And another upside to Roger Rosengarten is he is a smart player who with a strong understanding of pass blocking schemes and defensive schemes. Look, I think one of, if not the biggest trait a offensive lineman has to have outside of talent is you have to be smart, because when you transition into the NFL, it's a completely different world, right? You've seen offensive snaps, offensive schemes, run schemes, pass blocking schemes that might have never participated in before. Maybe something similar, but not exactly. Plus you have all the speed that comes with it. You have the defensive schemes, stunts, twists, just complication of defenses in the NFL. And Roger Rosengarten, from what the scouts are saying, can absolutely have that translate to the NFL level. He is a smart guy, big, tough mauler, exactly what the Jets need. Now let's move on. Going into the 4th round, the Jets have 2 4th-round picks. With the first one, I have the New York Jets taking another offensive lineman, another tackle in Blake Fisher, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Now you might say, Rob, why would you draft another tackle to groom? You already drafted Rosengarten the round before. The thing is, Blake Fisher has experience in both left and right tackle and even some guard. Now, he projects a much higher upside to tackle in the NFL because of his size at 6'6", 310 pounds. Played in 12 games and only gave up 3 sacks in a system and in an organization, in a school that really produces high quality offensive linemen. This guy can play left, he can play right. I project him better at the left tackle position based on what the scouts are saying. I'm by no means an offensive line guru. I just go by what I'm reading and what I'm seeing. Now, some of the things that scouts had to say is, again, plays with a big, physical, nasty attitude. Again, a smart player who understands these schemes, both offensively and defensively, to help him translate to the next level. He's an excellent athlete for his size. Gets off snaps quick. Another thing is what you hear, what they compare. What you're also hearing with him is what you're hearing with Tyron Smith. Once he gets his mitts on you, that's it. You're done. He displays a comfort in different passing schemes and different passing sets. Again, relating to the smarts this player has, an understanding of football, high football IQ, big, nasty, will just maul you to death in the run game. I like this pick a lot. Honestly, I think out of my draft, I think this is one of my favorite picks. I think he's a very underrated player. I think he can go much higher because of his versatility and his strength and his speed and his intelligence. But in this particular draft, I was lucky enough to get him here with our first pick in the 4th round. Now, hold on. Let me just get this. With the I'm looking at my notes here. With the second 4th round pick, I have the New York Jets trading with their upstate rival, the Buffalo Bills. New York Jets are sending pick 134 and pick 257 to Buffalo for 144 and 189. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to pick 144, who I have the Jets drafting Theo Johnson, tight end out of Penn State. Now I know we're set at tight end, this, that. Bowers wasn't there, so why are we drafting a tight end? Look, the way I look at this, the guy is enormous, okay? He's 6'6", 249 pounds, just a big, tall, physical athlete that can go up and get the ball. And I think of it like this. I predict the Jets to be in the red zone a lot this year, especially if you have a healthy Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, all the upgrades that you made. I am hoping that the Jets are in the red zone a lot. Now, can you picture a 6'6" Theo Johnson, 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is, Tyler Conklin, 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is, Jeremy Rucker, Mike Williams, and you just have this basketball team of athletes in the red zone. You can move them all around, interchangeable. I think something like that, just tell me a team that can defend that. They're just taller, bigger, stronger than everybody else. Tell me who can defend that. And then, Tyler Conklin's obviously on the last year of his deal. I don't think he's been extended or reworked that I know of. I know so much has happened. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately, so I can't remember off the top of my head. But you can groom this guy to take over that tight end 1 or tight end 2. You can move Rucker to tight end 1. But I just think the possibilities is just, it's awesome. What you can just think about what you can do, especially in that red zone, with another 6'6" athlete. You can go up there and get the ball. I have Theo Johnson going, pick number 144 to the New York Jets. Now, we don't have a 5th round pick, but moving on to round 6, I have the Jets picking, with the first 6th round pick, I have the Jets taking Blake Watson, running back out of Memphis. 5'9", 189 pounds. This guy, to sum up for you, he's a playmaker. He makes plays in all levels of the field, running, catching, you can do it all. He's played in this past season, played in 12 games, had 177 carries for 1,044 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, 14 touchdowns. In the receiving game, he added 50 receptions for 461 yards. Now, he's not the biggest guy, so maybe he wouldn't be an ideal fit for what the Jets need. But look, I think you just need to add playmakers, right? You need guys that can do go out there, put the ball in their hands, and they can make something happen. This guy has 14 touchdowns last season alone, running, catching. Some of the things that the scouts have said is he is obviously extremely versatile. Again, running game, pass game, he can kind of do it all. He is an instinctive runner. He has the ability, a very smart runner, he has the ability to set up defenders in a way that is courteous to him to make defenders miss. He is a natural pass catcher, as I just pointed out with the numbers, 461 yards and 50 receptions. He is a natural pass catcher, hands catcher, not a body catcher, and isn't afraid to go over the middle. And he's one of the best playmakers in college, according to the scouts. I think that sounds fantastic. I know he'd be a running back too, but in the 6th round, you're getting one of the best playmakers in college. I'll take that all day, every day. So moving on, with the second 6th round pick, I have Sam Hartman. I have the Jets going Sam Hartman, quarterback from Notre Dame, 6'1", 211 pounds. As we all know, at least most of us know, he was actually in line to break the passing touchdown record in college. He fell short a little bit, but he played in 11 games, had 2,689 yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 63.5 completion percentage, and a 107.7 QBR. Some of the things that the scouts are saying and what we can see is he's not the most explosive athlete, but he is smart, he is instinctual, he knows where to go with the ball, and he's accurate getting the ball there. He is consistent. He has been consistent throughout his whole career. High touchdown, low interception to touchdown interception ratio, higher completion percentage throughout his career, been very consistent. Went from, I believe it was Vanderbilt or Purdue, I forget which one, and then transferred to Notre Dame. He can effortlessly make all the throws. He doesn't have the biggest or strongest arm, but the throws he was required to make all over the field, he can do that effortlessly. Great ball placement, as I mentioned before. Always had a high completion percentage. He has excellent accuracy on timing routes, which is, this West Coast system. That's what it's predicated on. I'm not saying that the Jets are still going to be in the West Coast system after Aaron Rodgers retires. No one knows what's going to happen, but if you bring another coach in to implement a West Coast offense, this guy can handle it. He just distributes the ball well. He isn't afraid to take those checkdowns. He isn't afraid to hit the open man. Just a smart player, very consistent. I think that is the perfect QB3 to groom and then eventually take over that starting role a few years down the line. We'll see what can happen though. Now, moving on to round 7, again, I traded Mr. Relevant 257 in the Buffalo pick, but we still have 256. And with the 256 pick, round 7, I have the Jets going Jarrett Kingston, offensive line out of USC, 6'4", 306 pounds. I say offensive line because he's played both guard and both tackle positions, very versatile. But you'll see in just a second here the reason why I picked him and kind of a continuing pattern that's going on with these offensive linemen I'm drafting. He played in this past season, played 11 games, 668 snaps. I believe it was both right tackle and right guard. He gave up 12 quarterback hurries, 1 QB hit, and 4 sacks. He's, again, so what the scouts are saying here, versatile, can play guard or tackle either side. A lot of the scouts are saying he is best suited for guard in the NFL because he does have shorter arms, which is completely fine. Look, if it takes 2 years to develop him, and then obviously John Simpson's going to be his contract's going to be up, so you might have that replacement, or you might just have a really high upside, really valuable backup guard slash tackle, which never hurts, as we see with the Jets with all the injuries over the past couple years. He is a smooth athlete with terrific mobility and footwork, nasty demeanor, again, a big mauler, and a key word here that I love that the scouts use is he has a killer instinct, which if you're playing, especially if you're playing guard and the plan is to take over John Simpson's role, big mauler, killer instinct, I love it. And great awareness, again, high football IQ, understands different blocking schemes, understands different defensive schemes, high IQ, and you need that, especially if you're going to be as versatile as he is. So that wraps up my 7-round mock draft. You know, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think if the Jets did this, it not only helps them this year, but it also sets them up to be successful in the future as well. Most notably next year, especially with their 2 tackles. I think you have 2 really smart, really aggressive, really big maulers, fast, athletic tackles that you can count on to take over the next season, especially if they're backing up and learning from guys like Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith. I think that is a no-brainer. You get your 1B, 2A big playmaker in Rome Odunze to play alongside Garrett Wilson, and then next year if Mike Williams leaves, he is definitely going to be the number 2 wide receiver, and you can just keep adding to that. Got 3 very talented, very athletic, very physical tight ends that can all catch, block, and run well. And then you have your backup, the guy who you hope is the backup quarterback, smart, consistent, accurate quarterback to just sit for a year or 2 and just learn from one of the best who have ever done it, Aaron Rodgers. You get Blake Watson, one of the best playmakers in college, in the 6th round. I think that was an absolute steal. I almost like that better than the Blake Fisher move, but I think Blake Fisher tops it just a little bit for me. But again, so you have the one of the best playmakers in college, you get that in the 6th round, and then you top it all off with a versatile piece that you can hope will take over in the next year or 2, depending what happens with what the Jets want to do. But that's what I got. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? What would you change? What would you do different? I'll do another one where I do more trades and stuff like that. I kind of want to mix and match and, you know, see what happens, just have fun with it. But yeah, so let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Check out my other social media that I'll post in the video and in the links down below. Until then, talk to you later. Let's go Jets.